When we talk about Peru, we imagine a place with landscapes ranging from the gigantic Andes Mountains to the deep mysteries of the Amazon jungle, right? But in the midst of all this landscape, there is a place that exceeds all expectations, Lake Titicaca. This lake, one of the most fascinating wonders of the continent, hides secrets that will leave anyone speechless. Don't believe me? Then answer this. Have you ever heard of a people older than the Incas who simply cannot live on solid ground? Or of a community where weaving is an exclusively male tradition, and where sacrificial rituals involve offering blood to the gods in ceremonies that defy all expectations? Well, today, we will take you to explore all this and much more in this immersion into the waters of Titicaca. 1. Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca is a true jewel of the Andes, dividing its waters between Peru and Bolivia, which grants it the title of the highest navigable lake on the planet. Moreover, this lake is also considered the one with the largest volume of water in South America. Before anyone claims that Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela is bigger and deeper, it's worth remembering that it has an outlet to the ocean and is therefore technically a bay, not a lake. One of the most interesting curiosities about Lake Titicaca is that it is located both in Peru and Bolivia, with most of its waters on the Peruvian side. The city of Puno on the Peruvian side is the main point for exploring the lake and possesses one of the richest cultures in the region. The best part is that you can take advantage of the trip and cross the border to the Bolivian side, diving deeper into the culture and customs of the other side of the shore. With all that said, it's no wonder that Titicaca is one of the most popular destinations among tourists. Besides its impressive geography, this lake harbors an aura of mystery hard to find anywhere else in the world. It is said that in the depths of the lake lies a submerged city called the City of Spirits or the City of Wanaku, where an ancient civilization mysteriously disappeared. Some even claim that on full moon nights, it is possible to see lights shining in the depths of the lake as if the spirits of this city were still alive, guarding the secrets of Titicaca. Another legend speaks of the guardian spirits of the lake who protect its waters and the people who inhabit it. According to this belief, those who respect the lake and treat its waters with reverence receive the protection of these spirits. However, those who try to exploit the lake for selfish purposes or are disrespectful may face the wrath of the guardians. Strong winds and sudden storms are attributed to these spirits, a way of warning to remember that Titicaca is sacred and must be respected. 2. Cradle of Civilizations. Speaking of myths and legends, let's delve into the Inca creation. No, we're not talking about Machu Picchu. Although Machu Picchu is the most famous Inca city, it is said that the true origin of this civilization began at Lake Titicaca. According to legend, the sun god sent his children Manco Capac and Mama Oclo to find the perfect place where their people could flourish. And where did they decide to settle? On the iconic Island of the Sun. This island, located in Titicaca, was inhabited by these ancient peoples until the arrival of the Europeans in the 16th century. And of course, it is our next destination on this journey through the most sacred lake in South America. 3rd Island of the Sun. The Island of the Sun is the largest island in Lake Titicaca, with an approximate area of 21 square kilometers. Although it is on the Bolivian side, one cannot talk about Titicaca without mentioning this legendary island. Its original name, Isla Titicaca, comes from the name of the lake itself, which means rock puma in the local language. The island is part of a larger geological formation, the Copacabana Peninsula, which extends towards Bolivia and creates a land arm that surrounds part of the lake. The Island of the Sun is separated from this peninsula by a strait barely 1 kilometer wide, almost like a natural extension. For the Incas, the Island of the Sun was more than just an island. It was the cradle of the Inca Empire. Legend has it that it was here that the god Viracocha sent Manco Capac and Mama Oclo to found their people, making the island a sacred place. And one cannot talk about the Aymara and Quechua peoples without mentioning their most emblematic rituals. Firstly, the worship of Pachamama, or Mother Earth, which represents nature itself and fertility. This ritual, which is still celebrated, involves offerings of coca leaves, corn, and even llamas to ask for protection and good harvests. For the Andean peoples, Pachamama is the guardian of all living things. Then there is the famous Inti Raymi, the Festival of the Sun, the largest festival of the Inca Empire, which takes place during the winter solstice around June 24th. This event honors Inti, the sun god, and marks the beginning of the new agricultural year. During the festival, one of the central rituals was the sacrifice of llamas, offering their blood to the sun to ensure good harvests and prosperity, while the shaman took the opportunity to make predictions for the coming year. Today, Inti Raymi is celebrated in Cusco with a 3-day reenactment without sacrifices, of course, and Pachamama continues to be revered in various Andean regions. But Titicaca holds even more secrets. Our next stop is the fascinating island of Tequil. Fourth, Island of Tequil. The island of Tequil is a mountainous gem in Lake Titicaca, located about 45 kilometers from Puno in southeastern Peru. During the Spanish colonization and until the 20th century, it was used as an isolated prison where inmates were kept away from society. Since the 1970s, however, the inhabitants themselves have taken over local administration, maintaining a simple lifestyle almost untouched by modernity. There are no cars, hotels, or constant electricity. At night, lighting is based on candles and lanterns, with some recently installed solar panels for limited use. The locals are famous for their traditional clothing and artisanal skills, which have earned them international recognition. Their textile work is so impressive that it has been declared a masterpiece of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity by UNESCO. Here's an interesting fact. While in many places weaving is a female task, on Tequil, it is a male tradition. From a young age, boys learn to weave, while women spin and weave the yarn. Despite their traditional lifestyle, the island receives about 40,000 tourists a year. With no hotels, visitors stay in local homes, offering an authentic experience with simple meals and guided tours. The community follows the ancient Inca moral code of Amasua, Amalula, Amaquela, which means do not steal, do not lie, do not be lazy, a motto that maintains the harmony and communal spirit of this unique society. 5. Amantani Island. Another must-visit in the Titicaca Islands is Amantani Island. Remember we talked about the Island of the Sun as the largest lake island on the Bolivian side? Well, on the Peruvian side, Amantani holds that title with more than 9 square kilometers. About 4,000 people live here, distributed in 10 communities where Quechua is the main language, although many also speak Spanish. Located in the heart of the lake, this island is surrounded only by water and the distant Island of the Sun. Thanks to its isolated location, the traditions and customs of the locals remain almost intact, making it one of the most authentic and sought-after cultural destinations in Titicaca. Tourism has become an important source of income for many families, offering visitors a fully immersive experience. In addition to its natural landscapes and typical houses, the place houses fascinating archaeological sites. Ancient civilizations such as the Pucra and the Lupaca created agricultural terrace systems that the Incas later improved. At the top of the 2 local mountains, the Incas also left ceremonial centers dedicated to Pachamama, Mother Earth, and Pachatata, Father Sky. The history of the place also brings memories of colonization. In the 15th century, the area was sold by King Charles V to Pedro Gonzalez. The colonizers tried to settle there, but the difficult agricultural conditions made them sell the land back to the original inhabitants after a great drought in the early 19th century. By the 1950s, they had regained almost the entire area, reaffirming their ancestral traditions and culture. Today, this cultural expression is a fusion of Andean influences and adaptations made after colonization. Traditional clothing imposed by the Spaniards is still used but has been personalized with colors and designs representing local identity and beliefs. Mysticism is also present in the temples dedicated to Pachamama and Pachatata, which remain closed all year and only open on a special date for celebrations and Thanksgiving rituals. 6. Floating Islands of the Uros. If there's one place that stands out when it comes to the islands of Titicaca, it's the floating islands of the Uros. What really sets them apart is that they are artificial and handmade. Yes, we are talking about several handmade islands. Although it sounds strange, the locals themselves built these floating islands using a plant called totora, which grows abundantly there. Imagine living in a place that literally floats. On these islands, on the Peruvian side, about 10,000 inhabitants known as the Uros live. Their history dates back a long time. It is believed that this civilization is even older than the Incas. In the past, the Uros were a semi-nomadic tribe, using their totora boats to fish, hunt, and travel across the lake. However, to escape the various tribes and civilizations that arrived, including the powerful Incas, they decided to create a way of life isolated from the rest of the world. The Uros built their first floating islands over 500 years ago, using totora, a reed found in the lake. They tied and wove this reed to create floating platforms, ensuring protection and stability. Over time, they expanded the islands, and the Euros manage to maintain their unique lifestyle despite external influences. Each island is home to several families and their huts, schools, shops, and even churches. A recent innovation is the construction of huts for tourists to have an immersive experience. Totora is a key element in the lives of the Euros. It is used not only to build islands and boats, but also to make their houses, furniture, and even handicrafts. And the best part is that this plant is fully renewable. As one layer wears out, a new one can be added on top. The floors of the floating islands require constant maintenance, as they need to be replaced every 6 months or so. Despite this, the Euros have managed to preserve their way of life, adapting to modern tourism without losing their cultural identity. 7. Visiting Titicaca tourism has played a crucial role in preserving the culture and lifestyle of the Euros. Today, these islands are a major tourist attraction in the region. Visitors can learn about the unique way of life, watch traditional crafts being made, and even take a tour on a totora boat. Many islanders now have huts where tourists can stay overnight, offering an immersive experience. To visit the floating islands of the Euros, you need to get to Puno, the main city on the shores of Lake Titicaca, on the Peruvian side. From there, you can take a boat tour to the islands. The tours usually include a visit to several islands and the opportunity to interact with the locals and learn about their culture and traditions. It's also possible to combine a visit to the Euros Islands with a tour to other islands on the lake, such as Tequil and Amantani, making the experience even more complete. In conclusion, Lake Titicaca is not just a natural wonder, but a treasure trove of culture, history, and mysticism. Its islands, both natural and artificial, offer a glimpse into the rich heritage of the Andean peoples, from the legendary Island of the Sun to the unique floating islands of the Euros. A journey to Titicaca is a journey through time, where ancient traditions and modern life coexist harmoniously. Whether you're exploring the sacred islands, marveling at the stunning landscapes, or immersing yourself in the local culture, Lake Titicaca is an unforgettable destination that captures the essence of Peru's rich and diverse heritage.